Beyond crazy. Why it happens. Wanna get in an argument fast? Go to a gathering of people with mental health issues and raise the topic of why people become unwell. You will quickly discover that people have different views on this volatile issue. We spent an entire chapter covering this debate in our last book, but it really comes down to this. Some people believe environment, abuse, poverty, dysfunction, and so on causes mental health issues. Some people believe genetics and biochemistry and neurology are to blame, and some people think there's no clear way to draw a line between the two. You've probably noticed this in some of the stories you've read so far. Does a person get depressed because levels of neurotransmitter serotonin have dropped? Or do the levels of serotonin drop because something is deeply troubling them? Why will two people experiencing very similar life events react in completely different ways? Why is it that one person who tumbles down the steps fractures their ankle while someone else takes an identical fall and walks away unharmed? Good bones, bad luck, slippery steps? The example only hints at the unbelievable complexity of why these things happen. On the surface, something like post-traumatic stress disorder seems pretty clear-cut. There is a cause and effect, and so it should be of little surprise that Lieutenant General Romeo Dallaire developed vivid flashbacks after witnessing the horrors of Rwanda. And yet, like sleeping on the steps, there are others who returned from that carnage and didn't develop the disorder. It gets more confusing and volatile when you get into the diagnosis of schizophrenia. Many sufferers grew up in good homes, with good families, and with no obvious triggers. Yet, there are also plenty of people who have been diagnosed with schizophrenia who endured emotional and physical abuse or trauma. How is it possible that these very different people wound up with the same disease? Is it the same illness? There is a growing consensus that what is currently lumped under the single label of schizophrenia may actually be many different disorders with different causes. Our approach in this divisive field has always been listen to people, to let them explain why things happen. In doing so, we've learned that mental disorder is a highly individual experience, vastly more complex and human than the limited templates and labels we try to assign. The stories in this chapter represent just a few of the myriad explanations people have for why it happened to them. There are, no doubt, countless more.